All right, so I don't know if you probably heard by now, if you're watching this video, there's been other people to that came out, and made videos about what uh like sonar or some kind of whatever from space had detected the um underneath the earth of the pyramids. So underneath the pyramids, obviously they spotted, like like a mile, I think, or maybe 2 miles, or whatever, below the pyramids. They found images, and I hadn't researched this yet. So I don't know too much about it, but from the information that I had already gathered, I'm going to tell you my opinion. Obviously, because I hadn't done research on it yet, um, I'm going to after this video, so I'm probably going to get on and, make another video. Um, So, but I'm making this video to kind of tell you just what I think, like my honest opinion. Um, because like from what I have heard, it kind of looks, I guess, like pillars, like and one opinion said that maybe, or actually somebody that I watched on YouTube was, saying how that like several things, like there it could be several, like they gave, like, I don't know, 5 or 6 different opinions of what it could be. I'm only going to give you one opinion, but like I listened to one of the things that they said was that it could be a city, and like it could be a city. um and again, I'm going to have to do more research, but that's what they said stood out to me when they said city, like underground city, like an ancient city. um so let's take that idea and talk about it a little bit. um so what I do, and I've said this before in many videos, is I take pieces of the puzzle from here, 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 here. Like I take, you know, like pieces here, 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 and I bring those pieces together. So I'm taking what this YouTuber said about what, the cities, being buried underneath the ground. And I'm taking all of the evidence that the creationists have found to support the biblical Genesis flood. And so they say that during the creationists say that during the flood there were tsunamis, that as these tsunamis happen, like woof, they carried settlement, like they carried landmass. They carried sand. They carried, dirt. And they, as the tsunami rose, they carried, the land, and then they crashed, and then the dirt and all of that settled, like several layers settled on top of one another. And a very good example of that is the Grand Canyon, where you can see the layers. And so I forget how the creationists say that caves were made, but like caves were also made from the flood period, or like sometime after the flood or something like that. I can't remember exactly how they said, but anyways, what I got to thinking about is, if this is an ancient city that existed before the flood, how it could have gotten buried from the layered deposits. The layered deposits from the tsunamis, from the waves, depositing these layers, and then could have buried this ancient city that was here before the flood. And it just got buried through those layers, like those layers, covering up the city. And so, but that's if, so we don't know too much about what is beneath the pyramids, and that's just a theory, that it could be a city, or that's one of the thoughts, that it could be an ancient city. We don't know that for sure. But what I'm saying is if it is a city or whatever it is, I know that they're gonna, come out and say yada yada yada, that it's this. And what I'm saying is, who knows? Like, we gotta wait and see. But I mean, let's just wait and see what they say of what it is. But if they say that it's some kind of power grid, like back, in ancient time, like, that's kind of a little hard to believe that they would have that type of knowledge. I mean, I guess I'm not saying it's not possible, because if you go back to the book of Enoch, you do have these fallen angels that are called watchers that did give people back in those times knowledge. And so it's possible that they could have given them some kind of knowledge on how to, use like such and such for, like a power source or whatever. But that would be, I mean, because like you're going back to before the flood. You're going back like almost 5,000 years ago. Probably five. So the earth is actually somewhere between 6,000 and 7,000. Some say 5,000, but I mean, give an extra 1 or 2,000 years. I mean, because like we're like 2,000 years, removed from Jesus's death and resurrection. And the flood happened for around 4,500 to 4,700 years ago was when the flood happened. And people walked the earth about 1,000 years before that. Or, like pretty reverently close to 1,000 years, if not like maybe just a little bit more than 1,000 years before the flood. And so, and I've done this before, when you add it all up, it does add up to roughly, very close to 7,000 years when you add everything up that, like, what what the Bible tells us. Like when you add all of that up, it does add up to near 7,000 years. So I would say somewhere between 6 to 7,000 years old. But anyways, you're going back to near the beginning. I don't know if they would have that type of technology near the beginning. Now, they could have had that type of, engineering and, craftsmanship, things like that, due to the knowledge that the fallen angels, these sons of God, that got married to the daughters and had Nephilim with the women here on this earth. They could have given them the tools and knowledge needed to build cities. And so my thoughts are, it probably is and would be a ancient city. Probably one of the first cities, could be one of the first cities in this world. And so if that is the case, I mean, can you just imagine the theory that I came up with? That's probably correct, that it probably got buried due to the flood. And then from like going off of that, going even further, that would be further evidence that the creationists were correct, that the waves and the waves from the tsunamis and other waves, that took place during the flood, putting down layers of dirt and soil and sand, and like these different layers, like that would be even more evidence for the creationist, for the Genesis flood. Like if, now I can only imagine them coming out and going like, well, we can't talk about the Genesis flood, so let's just, come out with some story or whatever. And Because for many years, they said that the pyramids were built to bury the dead. But then there's been people that have said, well, nobody has found tombs inside the pyramid. Like inside these pyramids, nobody has found any tombs. Nobody has found any mummies or any, like, just, they haven't really found evidence to support what they have been saying for many, many years. So, that's another, just saying, like, it's probably, the pyramids were probably built for another reason. And you also got to think of how the pyramids were built. I guarantee you the pyramids were probably built sometime after the flood by Nephilim or by giants who, had the Nephilim genes, like Goliath. Well, obviously not built by Goliath, but Goliath and his brothers had the Nephilim genes. Like, they were, like, their bloodline was connected to the Nephilim. And so that's what I'm saying is probably sometime like after the flood, maybe. It could have been maybe before, but maybe after. But probably before the Egyptians, sometime after the flood, but maybe before the Egyptians, could have been Nephilim or giants, walking, and maybe they built those pyramids. Like, who knows? Like, I'm not saying that would be. I'm not even saying that that's true. I'm just saying, like, I mean, you got these huge blocks of stone, and the pyramids are really big. So it would be too difficult for Egyptians to build during that time. They wouldn't have the tools to build the pyramids. And yes, there is some belief that they had, this, and this, like X, Y, and Z of, ways that they, lifted each stone and placed them. But that would still, I mean, if you think about it, that would still take a lot of manpower. That would, still take like a lot of people and a lot of strength. And I just don't see how, I still don't see how that would be possible. Just due to the amount of labor and strength needed. And think about it, it's going to be pretty easy for a giant to place these stones. So that's something that we got to start considering as humans, as nations. We got to start considering the simple fact that giants would be able to carry these stones very easy. And so, but then think about this. The History Channel is coming out with a new series, and I forget what the series is called, but it's like digging up secrets or whatever. And the preview was saying how every government has, secret documents hidden away somewhere. That every single country, every single nation, every single government has secret documents that they have tried to keep hidden from the public. And so the American government has secret documents that is not the public, like secrets that the public doesn't know about. And so I'm sure I'm sure every country has secret documents that they have hidden. And so what would they be hiding? What would the documents be? Would some of these secret documents reveal truth about Nephilim? Would some of these secret documents hold the truth about why the pyramids were built? Would some of these documents hold truth, like secret documents that each government has hidden, hold truth to the cities, like underground cities that once existed before Noah's flood? So that's something that I told you. I take information from here, 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 and here. Like, I take information anywhere that I can get it. And it would be interesting to actually watch that show that's coming out about I'm not gonna say that they're going to show, things that we don't already know, but I don't know, I think it would still be interesting. But I don't know. I guess we'll wait and see, but that's my theory, that it could be a ancient city that once existed before Noah's flood, and it just got buried due to the layers, so, but we will see. So I'll see you in the next video.